Hello, I'm Ann Loader,
And I'm Jeff Groves.
and welcome to this month's edition of Police Beat.
You know, and we're out here at the police range where the officers practice their firing, and we're out here for a special occasion during this show, and that's for the SWAT team practice. The SWAT team is something that a lot of people hear about and read about in the newspapers and see on television, but it's one thing that a lot of people don't really know a lot about, other than they get called out to the most dangerous situations, usually a man with a gun or a hostage situation. We're going to learn a little bit more about the Fort Collins Police Department SWAT team during this month's edition of Police Beat, and about another facet of it, the negotiating section of the SWAT team. So stick around.
We're here with the commander of the SWAT team, Lieutenant Dean McWilliams. Going to ask him a few questions about the SWAT team in general, just so the general public can learn some more details about it. First of all, Lieutenant, what's the word SWAT, the initial SWAT stand for?
It stands for Special Weapons and Tactics.
And how many people are on the team as of this point?
We have 16 people on the Fort Collins Police SWAT team.
What do they have to do to become a SWAT member? What kind of qualifications do they have
The
to meet?
initial criteria requires that they be on the Fort Collins Police Department for a minimum of 2 years. They have to have passed the fitness standards at the 60th percentile level, and they have to have passed all of their weapons qualifications courses with the department. Then they're eligible to apply and go through the testing procedures.
For training, how much training do you do extra training every month, or?
Yeah, we train as a team 2 times a month. Additionally, if we've got dignitaries, which we do dignitary protection coming into town, or if we've got a special raid or something of that nature, a high-risk warrant that we're planning, we may have additional practices just to focus on that incident.
Okay, and like with all your gear that you're wearing, what kind of gear, special gear, are you guys equipped with?
Basically, we have supplemental to what an average officer on the street has. We have semi-automatic shotguns. We have full automatic weapons available to us, along with chemical munitions, CS gas, and the sniper rifles that we have deployed on certain types of call-outs.
Well, Dean, the SWAT team is kind of divided up into special sections, isn't it? Some of the officers have special training in certain areas, such as entry teams and a sniper position. Are there any others you could tell us about?
Yeah, basically, Jeff, what happens with the team is that we do have specialized positions, but because we're not a full-time team, we may end up on a call-out with certain members not there due to vacations or what may be coming up. So what we do in those situations is we cross-train. But we do have sniper observer teams that are designated and that are assigned to specific sniper rifles. We have door breaching people that are specialists in breaching doors and obtaining entry. And we also have munitions, gas munitions and so forth that are areas of expertise to have the knowledge to know what to deploy and how to deploy those types of gas.
One of the questions that a lot of the public has when they read about a certain call that you've gone out with regarding the SWAT team is we read that it took 5 hours to get a certain gunman that's been holed up somewhere out, but he gets out safe or whatever. Why does it take so long sometimes, like 5 hours on this call, 5 hours on that call?
Okay, on a barricaded gunman, probably the average is going to be closer to 7 or 8, but basically what we're looking at there is the first thing we want to do is contain him, and we'll deploy officers to contain him. We will enter into some form of negotiations, whether it's by phone or bullhorn or however we can talk with them. And then the last resort is tactics. But our ultimate is we work from the factor of time, talk, and tactics in that order. So we use time to our benefit. They get tired of listening to us, and pretty soon they give up.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Well, Dean, we talked briefly about actually what can the SWAT team be used for, and you talked one thing about was protection of important people that come to town, but is there any real policies as to what the SWAT team can be brought in on, or is it just basically wide open?
Basically, what we're available to the average street supervisor is whenever they have a need for additional manpower, skills, or weaponry in it for a given situation. And I can give you a couple of examples on both extremes. One was an extensive crime scene in very inclement weather. The team was called out because of the clothing and equipment we have to assist with that crime scene protection and search. A second to the other extreme would be actually a barricaded gunman with hostages or something of that nature, which essentially it'll exhaust all of the street resources and and a sergeant needs some relief so that they can go about taking care of business on the street.
Okay.
Today, you're out here to, I think, qualify with some of your weapons or whatever. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what you're going to be doing out here maneuver-wise?
Today we'll be doing a qualification course in addition to doing some shooting practice. You'll see the Benelli shotgun, which is a semi-automatic 14-inch barrel entry gun, and you'll see handguns being deployed in various scenarios of movement and fire. And you'll see the degree of selectiveness to the fire and the accuracy that the officers can obtain.
Great. Thanks for being with us, team.
Thank you.
Now we're with Sergeant McKibben, who's the team leader of the SWAT team. Bob, would you explain what one of our SWAT members is wearing?
Officer Goff's outfitted as we normally are outfitted on a call out, going from head to toe. We have ballistic helmets. We have eye protection in the form of goggles. We have a radio system, which is the gear that you see here that connects into our pack sets to enable us to hear through a hearing piece and speak through a microphone, and we don't have to reach down and grab a pack set when we want to use it. The vest that he's wearing is not ballistic. It's a load-bearing vest. We have ballistic vests that we wear, but the one that you see is designed to carry equipment and ammunition, various things that each officer needs to utilize his position in each part of the team. He's wearing Nomex gloves. They're flame retardant. They're to protect the hands. We also have gloves that protect us from sharp objects such as glass, that sort of thing. The uniform is blue, dark blue BDU uniform. The pants, the shirt. We also have cold weather gear. He utilizes a tactical holster. This enables him to carry various things that we use in the call out. The handgun holster is on this side. As you can see, we can attach various pockets on different parts of the vest. The weapon, the shotgun that he's using, is used with a sling, so when it's not in use, he can still have it. However, it's readily accessible to him. And we go down to usually wearing a specialized type of boot that's lightweight yet sturdy enough to do what we need it to do.
Also joining us on this month's edition of Police Beat is Doug Rice, who's part of the negotiations team, a part of the SWAT team as we talked about earlier. Doug, thank you for joining us this month.
You're welcome.
I know that the negotiations team actually has a very integral part. Could you explain a little bit of that to us?
Well, as part of the SWAT team, we have a negotiations team made up of approximately 7 negotiators and a lead negotiator that kind of assists us as we're called out and to help out with the SWAT function that takes place.
Does the negotiations team or part of it go out on every SWAT call out?
Depending on the circumstances, but normally if there is a SWAT call out, it would involve someone in a barricade type position, someone in a hostage situation, and that would necessitate the assistance of the hostage negotiations team.
Okay. Now, what exactly is the negotiations team goal as they're part of the overall SWAT picture?
Well, our goal is to assist the SWAT team, and there's a variety of functions that we provide to the SWAT team. One of those functions would be to provide some background information as to the person or persons who are involved in the SWAT call-out. We are also in constant contact with the SWAT commander and to assist in providing information to the SWAT team members. Our overall goal, obviously, is to assist in getting the individual or individuals that are involved in the SWAT call-out safely without any bodily injury or death to that person.
Okay. Now, the negotiations team is not right, as they say, on the front lines like the other members of the SWAT team that we saw. You're back a ways. Is that correct?
Yes. We're normally stationed in a central area, the SWAT van, if you will, or an off-site, say an office nearby or a house. We are away from the area where there is any direct confrontation or potential for confrontation.
So how does the communications link-up actually occur? Is that the job of the SWAT team to establish at least a baseline communications and then you take over?
Yeah, we have a throw phone at the SWAT team if it's necessary. Could throw a phone through a window to establish communications. We may use a normal telephone system. We may use whatever's handy or whatever is functional to contact the person or persons that may be in the facility or the building.
Doug, we've seen that the actual SWAT team members have an awful lot of training that they have to go through and have monthly training and to keep their skills sharp. Is there any training that's required of an officer who wants to be part of the negotiations team, and do you have ongoing training to keep your skills sharp?
Yes, all of our members have attended either basic, intermediate, and advanced training through hostage negotiation schools provided by the Federal Bureau of Investigation or the United States Department of Justice. We also coordinate with the SWAT team members at least 3 or 4 times a year on call-outs that are made so that we can work together as an integral team. We basically set up a scenario where we can work to prepare for if a scenario should actually take place in the field.
Great. I want to thank you for taking some time to be with us here today, Doug. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Ann, what are you doing?
I'm pretending I'm one of you traffic cops.
Okay. Do you know what you're doing on this thing?
No, I don't. It's too big, I think.
Well, your feet won't even touch the ground.
I've noticed that. I had to climb up a ladder to get up on this.
Seriously, in the upcoming months, we will be having a show on Police Beat about what it actually takes to be a motor officer here at Fort Collins Police Services and showing you some of the skills required. I'd like to remind you that the speed camera comes online August 1st here in Fort Collins. Right now we're issuing warnings through the month of July, but come August 1st, it'll turn around to tickets. So remember, watch your speed here in Fort Collins. The speed camera will be out, and it does a much more efficient job than I can write them. Thank you for watching.
Take care out there.
We'll see you later.